I sometimes feel frustrated and anguish at injustice happening all around us, and sometimes happening to me personally. I try to remember your words that it's not me experiencing it, and it is life that is carrying it, but it still upsets me and I feel helpless. Any suggestions? It's a solar plexus issue, Praveen. So to you take that to be serious and you take it to be real, whereas really what's happening is you have an instrument and you have your natural flow, your natural way of being that's completely unique to you, and your body has natural responses, and then you've got this identification, this idea of you which has ideas, and then it's informed the body in certain ways of how you interpret things. So maybe when you were growing up there was a lot of injustice happening, or a lot of arguing in the family, or a lot of things that you felt unfair about, and then an identity was built out of that, and then it sent the solar plexus into overdrive, and so now that you feel that injustice happening a lot. Whereas actually if you look at your situation, you currently live in the richest country in the world. I mean, I know some people can argue that, but if we say it's like in the richest country, it's maybe not, I think it's the richest, but maybe it has debts, and maybe that's a hard thing to tell, and maybe some people would say it's China, but it's up there, it's pretty high, and a lot of people around the world would envy you for living in America. A lot of people would envy you for having kids. A lot of people would envy you for having like not a basic job, but a job that provides a good amount of money. There's lots of things that would make you most likely in the top 5% of society. So whatever injustice your mind is telling you, it's only relevant to your interpretation of this world, because in comparison to the other 7 billion people on this planet, and most of the people, so maybe like 5 or 6 billion people on this planet, you have a lot of justice. Isn't that really difficult for us to comprehend, like when we live in a Europe or America, Australia, that just by living here and not being like on benefits, like having a job that provides like over 24,000 a year, you're doing really well. The injustice that in the frustration that you're feeling is mind-made. It's an identity. It's these ideas of what you think you should be, and then what you have been, the way you think people should treat you, and then what's actually really happened. And it's all to do with the solar plexus. So the feeling actually comes from the solar plexus. So it's not only like examining your thoughts and what you're actually interpreting situations to be, it's also learning about the solar plexus and learning what you feel and what you don't feel in the solar plexus. And then at the same time seeing that none of that is ever you. At the moment you're identified with the solar plexus, you're identified with your thoughts, and you believe that's you, and that's what makes them so intense and so real and feel so exhausting and so heavy, like a pushing down, like a squashing, like it makes you feel small. But while that and seeking is really intense, it's too hard to hear that who you are is no thing, is not a thing looking out now, that there isn't anything looking out. There's life appearing as itself. And that life is free. Right here, right now. So your mind keeps identifying, like holding on energetically to the solar plexus, to that feeling of frustration. And then there's this belief that it's happening to you, that you have this image in which all of this is happening to, whereas really there is simply this moment right here, right now, this alive presence. So this is it. And then the mind goes off. The mind is like talking about the injustice. The solar plexus is burning, so it keeps the mind keep going. And then here you are, right now, this innocence looking out. If that's too much to hear, like if the mind can't even begin to sense this presence that's happening right now, then you can look at the frustration, you can look at the thoughts, and you can examine it, and you can explore it. You can do chakra meditations, you can do chakra exercises, qigong. You can do things to help release that feeling. You said that you had experienced before, you had this big energy shift. Did such experiences encourage you to continue seeking? I would love to have some encouragement of that kind, only because your solar plexus is weak. Praveen, or excessive. Can't you see that that question is just another solar plexus, an identity question? So what comes up is that you're a victim to not having any of these shifts, and I've had these shifts, and that you need encouragement because you've got this path in which you're traveling along and you need to get somewhere. See, it's all this idea, it's all this related to you. You're not coming back to what you're actually feeling now. You're living in this idea timeline of you. So what you feel now is you feel vulnerable. And that vulnerability is then making you coming up with a story that's saying, I would love to have these experiences to encourage me. And what you feel now is vulnerable. You feel low self-esteem, you feel unconfident. Just acknowledging that, being honest to what you're feeling rather than beginning to tell stories of you and buy into this image of yourself. So if you feel like vulnerable and you feel like you're failing, like you're not getting there, then what is it that you want? So in that chakra, you first of all acknowledge it. And what is it that you want? You want to feel safe. You want to feel appreciated. You want to feel loved. You want to feel like you can do it. And then it's just knowing you can do it. You are loved. You are appreciated. It's not then buying into the story of you trying to get to enlightenment. It's fixing your chakra where you are. Strong doubt about the possibility being free, enlightenment. Enlightenment is simply an idea in which an image of you, so there's this image of you in your head and this idea that you're going to get enlightened. And that's an idea that comes up. And really what's happening is your chakras are out of balance. And then it creates ideas of you doubting that you can get to enlightenment. So in your body is feeling doubt. So that could be in the heart, it could be in the solar plexus, it could be, but let's just go, for example, the heart. You feel like you're not good enough. And so then in your mind, you begin to think there is a me, and you've got this image, this picture in your head of who you are that's not going to get to enlightenment, and that's not true. All that exists is what's here. The image of you was only invented in order to be able to communicate complex concepts. It's not who you are. There isn't this person that could get to enlightenment. There is right now. There is this emptiness looking out, this spaciousness, this vastness. That's not a thing. And then in your heart, there's a vulnerability, and then your mind really takes that vulnerability seriously. It's just sensation. And it's sensation because of a story that you've told yourself many times that you're not worthy. I'm just giving an example. It might not be the heart, it might be a different chakra. But it's something that you've told yourself many times. I can't get to enlightenment. I can't pass my school's tests. I can't be a good enough mother. I can't be a good enough wife. I can't be as good as my friends. I can't make it to do this. I can't make it to do that. I can't. But who is this I that can't? It's all fabricated in your mind, and then there's a belief in it, and then this feeling's taken seriously, and then this actual belief in it that it's true gives it validity and keeps that feeling present. It keeps you imagining that you failed, and then keeps that heart in ache, rather than it's just sensation appearing. The heart is just in vulnerability and lack and a feeling that it's got nothing to give. So it's acknowledging that feeling, like really letting it be there. And then when you're ready, you can move it to the positive. I am loved, I am capable. That's the positive of that chakra. That's not an I, that's not actually meaning someone, it's just picking that chakra up again. Like coming out of that dark feeling. But at the end of the day, who is this I that can or cannot get to enlightenment? Who? There's nobody there. Everything that you know about yourself is imagined and isn't fact. It's an idea and it's an image appearing, but there's something here that's always been here. You've always had your presence, and that's vibrating, it's free, it's infinite, it's not contained. It's not a failure or good or bad or successful, it's nothing. And in being nothing, it's absolutely free of the miseries of this world, of the difficulties of the human. And it's this shift back to that that's the freedom, knowing that that's who you are. Just wanted to say thank you. It's a pleasure, Praveen. It's a pleasure. I wish you a beautiful week, and thank you for sharing and being so open. And remember to like the video if you like it. If you want Google to share it, that's the important part. Thanks, guys. Bye.